Hey guys, welcome back to the Pod of Greed. I'm Paul.
And I'm Alec.
And we're going to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Card games and all sorts of other stuff. This week we've got...
There's definitely other stuff.
Yeah, definitely other stuff. And a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh! News. And we also will be using you guys' suggestions and actually drawing the cards out of the Pod of Greed.
Yep, we put them in this time.
For the first time. And just a reminder to everybody who missed it last week, the podcast is now available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, everywhere.
You can use an RCA.
RSS. But yes.
YMCA.
All right, so I guess we kick it off with the Yu-Gi-Oh! News?
Yeah, we usually start with Yu-Gi-Oh! So we can just get to it.
Yeah, okay.
I guess I'll let you start.
Yeah, so not a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! News, to be completely honest, just here in the past week. A few small things, though. So Master Duel did the Double Deck 1 challenge, or I guess it was sort of an event. This was interesting. So basically the way that it works is you build two decks using your own cards. One deck for going first and one for going second. So you know how when you queue up in Master Duel, you do the coin flip. So it's if you win the coin flip, you'll get to play your going first deck. But if you lose the coin flip, you'll get to play your going second deck.
Wait, but what if you lose the coin flip, and your opponent elects to go second?
Then they'll still be getting to play their going second deck, I guess.
Oh.
Unless maybe in the event, you're forced to always go first or second based on, you know what I mean? How some games, if you win the coin flip, you must go first.
I guess if you get to always use a going first deck when you're going first and a going second deck when you're going second, maybe you remove the player's choice of choosing whether to go first or not, given that...
You're allowed to use the same deck as well, for both if you want to.
I mean... I just wonder if there's any point in me flipping a coin and choosing to go first if I will always have an optimal deck for first or second.
Well, I think it just allows you to have kind of a different play experience. So that, when you're going into ranked or whatever, you're kind of just committing to using your deck, whether you win or lose the coin flip.
Right.
With this, it's kind of you get a mix. So sometimes you'll get to play this one and sometimes you'll get to play that one. It's just... Maybe it's a little bit more fun in that way. I don't really know.
I guess it might feel a little harder to be cheesed.
Yeah, that was that's what I was thinking, because people didn't like that Master Duel does not have best 2 out of 3. Mm-hmm. So, and because there's no side decking or anything like that, it kind of means you have to build your deck in such a way that you can go first or go second. So you have to kind of main deck Dark Ruler No More or Maxi and Ash,
inoptimal cards,
evenly matched Feather Duster, Triple Tactics, just these things that might be better for going second. You have to main deck at least some of them, because you just can't get around the fact that you're going to go second sometimes and you won't get to side and everything's best of 1. So this kind of allows you to ensure that you're always getting to play the optimal thing. Right. But then the catch is that so is your opponent. So
that could make for very interesting and dynamic gameplay, or maybe it won't be. Because I know in Yu-Gi-Oh, going second decks lately, they're pretty strong. The only weakness of a going second deck is going first.
Yeah, when it has to go first. So, I think it's pretty cool. And I know I didn't actually get to play in this event, unfortunately. I was just really busy last week when it was happening. But I heard generally positive things about it, and I think most people were saying that they wished it lasted longer. Which is...
Maybe that could just be the way they do this going forward.
I've always said that I think Master Duel, I know they do the events, there's always kind of an event going on, mm-hmm. But it would also be cool if you could just go back and play those events as their own ranked mode. Right. The Fusion Festival, the Xyz Festival, the Attribute Festival or whatever. I don't all of them, some of them have been mixed. I really enjoyed the Xyz Festival. I really enjoyed the Fusion Festival. I didn't get as much joy out of the Synchro Festival, but I also don't really have a Synchro deck I really like.
That was Combo City, so
yeah, I played the Red Dragon deck and got some decent results, and then there's the all normal and
did?
Yeah, in the first Synchro Festival, I played the Red Dragon Archfiend thing. It's okay. I don't even really love the deck. I was just trying to put something together that would work. So
fair enough.
But I think that those should be standalone modes that you can just always play. Even if they're not the current live event happening, I think it'd still be nice if you could just queue into them for fun.
So that reminds me of recently when Fortnite reduced some of their game modes because they introduced ranked, and then they reduced some of their game modes to keep the player pipeline going into a few channels.
Yeah.
I think it's important for Master Duel to not let us do too many different things.
Yeah, because I guess it would dilute it.
Yeah, if those queue times ever slow down, one of the biggest selling points of Master Duel is you click that ready to duel button.
And it's pretty instant.
Yeah, and you go.
Yeah, I mean, that reminds me really that Master Duel's casual mode, which seemed like a good idea, like probably when it was released, is kind of has that problem. Like it's not casual mode, so there's no rewards, which is already like not cool. And then like in addition to that, queues take a little bit longer because not that many people play it. Some people troll. You don't. It's weird. It's like it's what you think you want a casual fun deck mode, but then you realize there are some people who just take like tier elements or whatever kind of the strong deck is, and they just ruin other people's experience. Or like I don't know. It's like I think that it would be nice to have more modes, but I totally get what you're saying. Where like you don't want them to any one mode to feel dead.
Yeah, you don't want any one mode to be dead, and whatever they don't they don't want to take people away from the ranked mode. That's the thing.
Right.
It's
because that's gotta always feel alive.
Yeah, it has to feel alive. It reminds me of the Overwatch. And guys, let me be clear, I don't actually play Overwatch anymore. I was very upset after that whole debacle,
the cancellation.
So I haven't played in a while now. But in Overwatch, it's very important to keep that quick play queue going.
Yeah, you don't want people to have to wait.
Yeah, it's super important to them that when people hit quick play, they can get into a match as fast as possible. And for the most part, you do. If you look at ranked mode in Overwatch and competitive, you click that button and that thing takes a while. If their quick play mode was like that, Overwatch would be completely dead.
Yeah, I will say one other thing that I feel Master Duel could definitely use as a mode is like a draft mode. Because believe it or not, the legacy of the Duelist games had like the Battle Pack draft as their online mode. And that is like, while niche, is one of the more fun ways to play Yu-Gi-Oh. We've done videos.
Draft. I love it. So
yeah, like the battle packs are really well designed, and like I think that in Master Duel, it's just already kind of starting to have that issue where people get a little overwhelmed with what modern Yu-Gi-Oh can look like once like it's known like gold's the rank to stay in. Once you get into platinum, it starts to get a little messy.
Doesn't it feel kind of archaic to be playing? This is a digital card game. It's online. It's all automated. That you're playing one format still.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think that's kind of why they're trying to do the festivals and stuff, so that you kind of get to have other ways to play. But I think a draft mode should just definitely be a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Draft, maybe bring in this, what was it called again? Their duel event.
Yeah, like the 1 deck, 2 deck thing, like all kinds of things.
Those should.
Oh, and they added a master rank. Sorry to cut you off. They added like one more rank.
Oh, well, yeah, one above. And didn't they broke up gold, or they made gold bigger?
They made gold larger. So it's like it takes more wins, I think, to get out of gold, and also it takes more losses to get knocked down from platinum, I believe. So I don't know exactly how that all kind of shakes out, but basically it seems like the objective is to make it where like people can enjoy gold and a little more, and maybe platinum can also be like a gold 2.0. Because like we were saying before, like Master Duel has this reputation where like after you get out of gold, the fun kind of decks stop.
For sure.
And that's when it gets a little bit yucky. So maybe that can help with it. I don't really know. I haven't played Master Duel in a good bit. I'm going to start playing again tomorrow because tonight's the update when we're recording this that puts the new ban list into effect.
He's been saying that for like a week. When this new ban list comes in, I'm play.
Well, no, I really will. It's just that I got burned out by tier, man. It really just took me out of the Master Duel experience. I love Master Duel to death. You know this. But like tier just got it's just too much. Like it's really not good. So there's also some new figures. Some new Yu-Gi-Oh figures.
Oh, okay. Figures.
Oh yeah, not Master Duel figures, but so Amakuni's Yuma Tsukumo figure alongside a Rainbow Karibo figure will be available for pre-order until October 5th. I don't know if you've seen. Actually, you showed this to me, I think.
Yeah.
Briefly. Yeah, we'll have it linked, I guess, in the description so you guys can take a look, or maybe I'll put it on screen.
That was actually seeing that figure was the first time I liked ZEXAL.
Yeah, so I'm just really, really glad that it's not. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my Kaiba. I love my Yugi. I love my Blue Eyes, all that stuff. But it's really nice to see other characters get something for a change.
It's a really, at least this prototype looks really good. It's very well detailed. if you're a ZEXAL fan, this figure is a must-have. It just is.
Which, fun fact, I did not know this, but apparently ZEXAL has like a more of a cult following than I thought, and now a lot of people have been kind of coming around to it as actually like sleeper, maybe one of the best of the Yu-Gi-Oh animes.
That's not true.
No, I don't know if that's entirely true. I've not watched the series in full, and I know that the biggest issue that people cite is that first like major arc is just basically the first season is kind of weak, and just you have to kind of get through that, but then it suddenly becomes like an entirely
it's
better
too long
thing.
for that argument. I don't care what anyone says. Yu-Gi-Oh, like this is not the whole a season's only 12 episodes. No.
Yeah, because that first season is like 50
it
or something.
drags.
It's actually okay. So a little bit.
There's moments though. I'll give it that. That the first season of ZEXAL does have moments, but my God, do you have to work to get there?
That actually a bit of a tangent. How do you feel about media where people kind of tell you like, okay, you need to watch this show, but like the first season like kind of is slow, but just stick with it. Like when someone tells you that, do you like are you willing to like trust them and watch a first season even if it's like maybe 24 episodes or like
That's a good question. So
or like should a show not require that in order for it to be good?
because I've personally recommended people watch an anime despite its first season being kind of subpar. Mm-hmm. But now when I think about that question being posed to me or that request being made to me, I don't know if I would want to do that. I don't think I want to put myself through a full mid-season just for the promise that it gets better afterwards. I mean, maybe if this anime is considered like a classic, because I'll go back and watch like classic and cult classics of things. But if it's just like an anime that came out 2 years ago and the first season was kind of whack, but the second season was fire, I don't know. I'm not going to do it. I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it's a tall ask because these days there's just so much media to consume that I literally do not have the time to like sit and watch like 24 episodes before it quote unquote gets good.
I have an example. It's not a one-to-one example, of course, but I feel this way about Bleach and the 1,000-Year Blood arc or whatever it's called. That's Bleach's like final arc, and I've heard great things about it, but I got tired of Bleach forever ago, and
so you're not really willing to.
Yeah, I don't really want to go through all that again to have context for this final arc. I might skip and just watch the final arc. I might do that.
So an anime for me is Fire Force. That was one that we all watched together. First season was like not even awful. It's kind of slow. Doesn't really explain itself well. It's just
season 1 of Fire Force is, I think, the definition of mid. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not amazing. It's just but then the second season picks it up so much, and it's like just so much better. But then you have this problem where like it kind of has the reputation from season 1 of like, it's not that good, and so no one will give season 2 a try.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't blame them because it's like, well, And
I wish I could tell them, just start episode 13, but
in this case 25
or
actually.
25. Oh, yeah, it's a long one. Yeah, start episode 25, but I mean, you've missed out on so much. You don't really know who these characters are. It's a bit of a pain.
We also just one other last example is Final Fantasy 14 actually.
The critically acclaimed RPG?
Yeah, so we play a lot of 14, you guys know. And it's funny because like while I would wholeheartedly recommend 14 to people, I think it's a wonderful experience. The like kind of Realm Reborn story, which is like kind of the first just base game before all the expansions start, is a slog.
It's slow.
And it's
not
really
that it's
slow.
Bad, it's just slow.
It's slow. It's very bloated with like a lot of dialogue, a lot of
filler.
Also, like the voice acting's not great in that one. Some of the voice actors changed later.
Well, so I don't hate on the voice acting in the first part as much because we didn't even know we could have good voice acting then. When you're like, before you hear all the good things about Final Fantasy 14, like when we first played it, we didn't know it would get better. We didn't know how much better it could be. So I don't think I minded the voice acting back then. But once you get past that point, you never want to hear a Realm Reborn voice acted role again.
There's those examples, I guess, to bring it back to ZEXAL is like I'm one day when I get the time to sit down, I would like to watch ZEXAL and just form my own opinion on it. Like, is this as good as everyone says? Is it still just kind of mid to me? I will say, though, I've noticed that there are a lot of people, and I didn't notice it when it was happening, but I'm noticing it now, who grew up on ZEXAL. Like, ZEXAL was kind of their DM.
I mean, that makes sense. People are born every day, and
Yeah, but it seems
some
like
people just couldn't be raised on 5Ds like a proper person should be.
So here's the thing about that, though, is there's something about ZEXAL in particular where I remember at my card shop, there were like younger teens and stuff, like people who were like 12-ish, who were like wanted to be number hunters, like in the real game.
Their show.
Yeah, and that was the show's like gimmick and thing. But what's interesting about it is like, I don't think that at least yet the other ones have had those same, like Arc 5 and obviously Range is still fairly fresh. And
It's
even
like-
5Ds, like it feels like ZEXAL did something right. I don't know.
I don't know. Paul, how many people have shown you their Signer Dragon tattoos?
Only like 2 in real life.
Only 2? I feel like
I've seen a lot online.
7 or 8 or not. I feel like people have wanted to be signers as kids too.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think that really works with like Duel Monsters or GX. They didn't really have an equivalent.
I guess at GX you want to be a Duel Academy.
Yeah, you just want to be at Duel Academy.
Speaking of GX, by the way, there is a new Revoltech Jaden figure. It's kind of one of these, I'll link it in the description, but like it's kind of one of these
that's
ones
kinda
that's
cool.
got more like opposable parts. It's not really my type of figure. I don't really care as much for these kind. I like the more like statue
Right.
display things. And they also are doing some critters. This is from Tree Fig or Tray Fig's Monster Collection. So they have, I think it's Arm Dragon level 3, Dandelion, Winged Karibo, Crystal Beast, Ruby Carbuncle, Ojama Yellow, and Neospatian Grand Mole.
I want that Grand Mole.
So I would like to get all of those. Those are some cool figures you can like pre-order and get your hands on.
Order me one.
So that's all I think I've got for Yu-Gi-Oh! News. Have you
There's a
seen or
little
heard
bit
anything
more.
else?
Last week Wild Survivors did release. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, Wild Survivors. I think we might have mentioned it a little bit last week, but sets out. I'm gonna end up in my rant about these like deck builder packs that I've always
Focus
had.
on what because
What
the
I like
difference between
first.
difference between this week and last week is now you've opened, held, and seen the cards.
It's only made my opinion go down. That's the problem. Okay, I'll be all right. So, Wild Survivors is a deck builder set. It's got 3 pretty cool archetypes. There's the Transcendosaurus.
Yes.
Kind of a new dinosaur, normal monster based thing.
Which
They're-
Transcendric was easier to say, but okay.
They look really cool. I really like them. I am not a dinosaur fan myself, so I can't.
Me neither.
Do you have any thoughts on Transcendosaurus?
I think retooling these old vanilla monsters into another archetype is a cool and efficient way to design cards. Mm-hmm. I just wish they weren't like fairly generic dinos.
Yeah, well, I think it's just like you're kind of more like me, where it just feels like Soul Eating Oviraptor and Ultimate Conductor Tyranno kind of co-opt any dinosaur strategy.
I've had my board flip face down too many times to like really be excited for a new dinosaur archetype.
Yeah. So the next one is the Nouvelles. I'm probably butchering that really badly.
No, I think
but
it is actually pronounced Nouvelle.
the French cooking
Nouvelle.
archetype. I think that they're pretty cool. It was neat to see like Hungry Burger kind of get some time in the spotlight.
They built an archetype around it so you could use it. I did find out that so the Nouvelles are a combination of French cooking styles and the can I say it right? The Ars Goetia.
Okay, I think I've heard of that.
It's a grimoire, which is a book of spells for, I think in this case, conjuring demons.
So that's why the food's kind of like demonic forms.
And all the monster names, the ritual monsters, it's a combination of a recipe or a cooking style or recipe, plus a particular demon's name.
Right. Yeah, and so they have a really neat gimmick. They tribute opponents' attack position monsters.
And they have
In
ways
order
of
to
getting their
ritual summon.
monsters in attack position.
It sucks that they did, some of them at least, have to target. Because
It
that's
is
always,
what
that's
it
just like a little
is.
bit, that's asking a bit much, because you might just rather use a kaiju. But I think that the concept is cool, and I was talking to Alex about it the other day. I think it's really cool that Konami still manages to find different ways to make ritual archetypes feel unique from each other.
Oh, I really thought you were about to say Konami finds different ways to make ritual archetypes mid.
I mean, I don't, as far as how good this one is, it probably is closer to the mid category. But like, I think it's just, I was looking back, it's like, okay, there's Megalith, where like the monsters kind of ritual summon each other.
Oh my!
There's like the
when
Dry...
they got their last support. Oh my god, Megaliths are crazy.
Yeah, Megaliths have been pretty wild. Drytron's really cool.
Ugh.
Even looking back at the old stuff, there's like, you know, Necros. So they've done a lot of neat ways to like just make ritual function, and it's because fundamentally, right, it's the weakest or most awkward summoning type.
It's the most taxing summoning type you can be doing.
And then
I'd rather just tribute summon.
Yeah, they managed to make Monarchs more efficient, really, than. But I mean, you know, cool theme, neat. So the fun part about both of those is that you can actually build them from the set feasibly.
I think they each have like
maybe two ultras or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's 2.
Meanwhile, though, our friends, the Vanquished Souls,
which is, I would say, the coolest thematically coolest archetype in the set.
Yeah, they're kind of like a fighting game. I like they have the card where it's like continue, and
there's so many like fighting game references like tucked within that archetype.
But it's also got like what 6, 7 ultra rare slots.
Plenty. The vast majority of the ultra rares are them, and they're the main deck monsters, of which you need 3 of pretty much all of them.
Now I saw it. What I believe was the Italian Nationals. A Vanquished Soul deck was either in the finals or like top 4. Something.
I wonder how much they paid.
Yeah, I don't know, because that was like the weekend it had come out.
Yeah, they must have bought it all frame 1.
Okay. So yeah, like it was really cool. It's just that like they're all ultra rares, and believe it or not, I don't have a problem with them being a lot of ultra rares. What I really have a problem with is the pull rates on these deck builder sets.
Yeah.
I have whined and bitched and moaned about this for ages, and I'll try to keep it short here. But I think that it is highway robbery that Konami is like, that they do the 3 ultra rare thing in these sets. I don't like, every other set gives much more generous like pull rates and rarities, but they have the same MSRP and only 7 cards per pack instead of 9. And a box gives you 3 ultras.
Yep.
A normal box of like Cyberstorm Access, the standard rate's like 2 secrets, 4 ultras. And even in like the legendary duelist sets, like Synchro Storm or Fish or whatever from the deep, Duelist from the Deep.
Yeah.
Like you get like 7 ultras in those. Like it's 36 packs per box, so you get like 7 or 8 ultras. But like for some reason they're so stingy with these sets.
Because they just want to make us buy lots and lots of product. I mean, that's the long and short of it.
Yeah, it's like I get it, it's a gotcha, but like man, I guess it's a little bit discouraging if somebody wants to build these, because like these sets tend to not actually retain loads of value long term.
So
like
I've actually gotten a little sick of people calling Yu-Gi-Oh a gacha game.
Okay.
Only because I think that's unfair to gacha games.
Ouch, here we go.
No, I'm just saying, oftentimes, yeah, pull rates on like a 5-star or UR like character are low in gacha games. But typically for a gacha gamer, you only need to pull the 1. And
yeah, you guys a little different.
There is a limit breaking like mechanic in gacha games where you can get duplicate characters that get stronger, but oftentimes you get your 1 per banner and you just wait for the rerun to try and pull for a second one. But like in Yu-Gi-Oh, we don't have this. There's no cycling back around to try again and pull the cards we want. We need our set yesterday.
Well, I mean, if you count reprints, like the Megatons could be considered the like event cycling back, right?
I don't think Duelist pack.
I mean, they get reprints eventually.
Packs get those types.
No, they've been throwing them in the tins.
They've been throwing them in tins.
Yeah, that's people complain about it because they don't like it. It's like even more to sort through. But yeah, they've been putting them in the tins.
By the time we get these reprints,
yeah, it won't be. I mean, hey, you're right. I'm just saying. So that's my gripe on them. I still think though the set is really cool. I think the themes are really cool. I wanted to build Vanquished Souls. I probably just won't, because it's just a lot of.
I'm looking at the nouvelles. I think they're kind of cool. I think they're bad. I don't think it's like a strong archetype by any stretch of the imagination. But with some support, it might be okay.
That's I guess like pretty much it for the Yu-Gi-Oh news.
Yeah, that's all our Yu-Gi-Oh for now. So don't run though. Don't leave. We have more.
All right. So what you got?
So. We always got to talk a little bit about Magic the Gathering, Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah, it finds its way on this podcast a lot. This is kind of more positive news, I'm guessing, right?
Yes, or I guess it depends how you look at it. So, former NFL linebacker offers $500,000, that's $500,000, for the One Ring 1 of 1 Magic the Gathering card.
Yeah, so I guess for those people who don't know, that's the new Lord of the Rings set. I don't even know what that set's called, but the
We're
Lord
gonna
of the
call it
Rings
Lord
set.
of the Rings Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, so there's that like one ring. There's like one of one. That's all they're
There's
ever gonna
going to be
do.
one in the entire world.
So yeah, so there are already people who are like kind of putting bounties on it, I
And
guess.
this is this in this case it's Cassius Marsh Senior. He was a linebacker in the NFL not too long ago. I think he's only a year older than me. He actually owns a card shop in California now. He's actually really big into card games. I saw him in a video at Frankensons.
Cool. You know, there's like an NFL player who was playing Yu-Gi-Oh. I remember like back in 2019, he got like top maybe 64 at like some YCS, and
He's
he
got more tops than me.
played Thunder Dragons or something. I think it's always really cool when you see like I guess just people you wouldn't expect to play Yu-Gi-Oh or like card games or whatever. I remember once when I went to the One Piece Treasure Cup, there was like a football player, and he was like really into Flesh and Blood and like all these things. I was just like, it's just kind of a pleasant surprise.
Well, this NFL player is offering $500,000 for a copy or the copy of the One Ring. And it's no joke because they say his Magic the Gathering collection is valued at $500,000.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that because I actually saw on Facebook earlier that Dave and Adam's Card World, which I think is just one of the largest kind of card game vendors, offered $1 million. That's
Oh.
their bounty, $1 million for anybody who pulls it. Now,
This
that
is
was
a
as
weird
of a
kind of
few hours
auction
ago, I
going
think.
on.
Yeah, it's like an auction for a thing that hasn't been pulled.
Yeah.
And I was seeing on Twitter that there are people who are like sort of saying, okay, here's what you do if you pull the card, like, you know, don't do this, do this, look at all these offers. Like, what would you do if you pull it?
If I pulled that card,
Like, what, like,
I would.
spell out
Okay,
the moment you
I'll-
pull it,
all
and then
right,
like
all
what
right.
happens in the next like week.
If I pull that card, the first thing I do is I get it in a sleeve.
Right. Okay.
Second thing I do is I'll pop open one of my kind of acrylic cases and just throw it in there. I have those magnetic ones we have. Throw it in the case. Then I would find where PSA is located and drive that card to PSA myself.
Yeah. I don't want to send it in the mail.
And I would have it. I don't care how much I'd have to pay. I would get it graded by PSA with me in the room.
Right.
And I guess probably need insurance in case they damage it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But once I would get it graded and then I would go public. I doubt I would be able to keep it hidden for that long. I'm sure some employee or somebody would leak
the
it.
word would get around.
But after I get it graded, I would publicize that I have it. It will be locked away in a safe. I'm not gonna say whose safe and where it would be, but it would not be on my person. On the chances of some enterprising individual seeing me as
Tracks you down
as a come up, and then I'd let them hit me with offers, and then I'd have to just look for whichever ones are the most one profitable, but two,
Which they're all profitable.
yeah, that's true.
Almost all of them,
I
right?
wouldn't have paid that much for it. But look at for qualified offers. So
Are they like legit?
yeah, if someone's offering me like $5 million, but it's a random person in Idaho who I've never heard of before, I'd rather pick someone more public or a company, something that
So like the David Adams Card World offer would be.
that's a better deal.
Fun fact: I bought a lot of stuff from them for like videos and stuff. Some of the boxes for Rare Hunters and some
So
singles.
they can offer $1 million for this card, and you're giving them money.
I'm helping to fund the One Ring buyout thing.
I guess it's $1 million for one card, and didn't Tyler the Great Warrior just sold?
He just sold, and that was like maybe 300,000 or something like that. I don't remember exactly.
That was
how
a
much.
Yu-Gi-Oh! One of one.
Yeah, I mean, I think that in this case though, it's a little different. I don't know if you would call it better or worse, but different because any person can pull this card. So whereas like in the Tyler the Great Warrior thing, he like it was like a special circumstance, and like he kind of got to make it, but there was never a chance that you or I could have even had that.
Doesn't that make
So you would think that would make
more?
it maybe more valuable, but I think that there's so in the trading card, like in the collectible world, I was talking to Ruxin about this or somebody. I think Ruxin might have told it. It's like it's actually seen as more valuable for the card to have had a chance of being pulled rather than be like a promo
a
or
promo.
guarantee, even if it was like a limited time thing. So a popular example is like, Blue Eyes White Dragon, right? The most expensive Blue Eyes is an LOB, one, because you had to pull it. The second, I believe, don't quote me, most expensive Blue Eyes is the Dark Duel Stories one. The Dark Duel Stories one, in some ways, could be seen as like rarer because there were technically less of them and like all that. But because you were guaranteed to get it in the game, it is not seen as valuable as like the LOB. So it's like, and of course, there's other factors and stuff, but like, I think that's probably why the Lord of the Rings one is like that. And it's just also like, it's what's different now is that with the Tyler the Great Warrior thing, it happened a long time ago and the guy's finally auctioning it. This, it's like we know that it's in these packs that are like getting seeded out today.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that changes, I guess, the feeling and the dynamic of it.
I wonder if what's interesting. This is not a true auction. These guys are just saying that's how much they're willing to pay for it. Mm-hmm. What if when this card finally gets revealed and they're not willing to pay the amounts they said they are?
I don't know.
What if Card World's like, well, we really think it's only worth $700,000. After I look at it, it's really only like $650,000.
I mean, but even if they don't, someone will. Like, because someone will just take advantage of that opportunity to maybe offer more.
But like, what if no one actually thinks it's worth $1 million? Like, what if this is all performative right now? And when it comes down to putting your money where your mouth is, they don't think it's a $1 million card. I think in this article, it even said that like, while Magic is no stranger to expensive cards being like sold, like there was a Black Lotus sold for $600,000, and I think that would be that was their highest recorded sale that I guess you could prove.
Yeah,
it's like, is this One Ring $400,000 worth $400,000 more than a Black Lotus?
Hard to say. I'm curious. I mean, this is actually something I do want to follow because, to my knowledge, we still don't know that anyone has pulled it yet.
Yeah.
As the time of us recording, so.
This video goes up, someone's pulled it.
Yeah, so. I don't know. I mean, good luck to those of you guys out there trying to buy it. I would love to pull it myself. My true hope in all of this is that a kid pulls it who doesn't know anything and just like crams in their pocket without a sleeve, and then their dog eats it, and it's off the planet forever, and we don't have to worry about any of this shit anymore.
Well, I think that's strangely fitting because in the lore of Lord of the Rings, the One Ring had many people held it. Many people had no idea what they had when they got it.
Okay.
It granted you special abilities, but it also made you a target.
Yeah.
And then at some point, people lost it, and it ended up at the bottom of rivers, and fish would eat it, and it would poop it out, and like.
Okay, so that's probably what will happen with this. Like, I'm telling you, if the person who like pulls this makes it public, it's probably going to end up following a similar.
Do you think a damaged copy of this card would have value?
I mean, maybe not too damaged, but even that will have to have one because it's still one of one. Because the thing is, because the Tyler the Great Warrior was like PSA grade 7. Now, it's not like super damaged.
Right.
But I mean, there are like more damaged cards that are still worth a lot.
Like, what if someone's child opened this pack and they open it haphazardly and just huge crease down the middle?
Painful to think about.
Like, do you think people would be willing to spend anywhere close to what they're offering?
No, but I mean, I still think they'll offer something.
Yeah, that's true. It'll be worth something.
So, yeah. Any other story? Card game wise?
Oh, yeah. I got another one. So this one pertains to Lorcana. Still don't know what the exact pronunciation is.
Oh, yeah. I noticed you got a lot of Lorcana. You feel like you're kind of into this game, huh?
Well, I said I was going to follow this game, and I will collect some cards on the side.
Right.
It's because I am a Disney fan. I grew up on this stuff, so I do like the idea of it. Okay. I'm just not going to play it competitively.
So what's going on?
So Gen Con, the convention in Indiana, tabletop one, is supposed to have a bunch of Lorcana events.
Yeah.
I think they said they're going to have 3 different ones, and people went crazy signing up for it. Well, Gen Con, just like a few days ago, or was it a few? I think it was, I guess it was last week.
Okay.
Last week, Gen Con said that, to everyone that signed up for multiple Lorcana events, you can actually only go to one.
Okay.
And so people were very upset about that because they some of them went to Gen Con with the express intention to farm
events
Lorcana
and,
events. But I think this was this is a decision by Ravensburg. That's her name? No, Ravensburgers. Ravensburger's intentions with Disney Lorcana events at Gen Con 2023 were meant to maximize the number of attendees that would be able to play and participate during the convention.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what they should want to do. But this kind of leans into the kind of thing I talk about every time I bring up a Lorcana story. Card gamers are card gaming. Mm-hmm. Where there's 3 Lorcana events, I'm signing up for all 3.
Yeah, because if you sign up for all 3, then it's 3 chances to top, and also any promos and
rewards. Stuff. I can get all these.
So you think it was a good call for them?
Yes,
I agree. I think that. I mean, I don't know. It's like you said, it's a new game, and it's probably for the best that more unique people get to play it than anything.
Like I said, I want kids to be able to play this game.
Yeah, so hopefully that can work out. I mean, I know with this game in particular, it's something that will be attracting a lot of eyes, I think, in the collector space and those sorts of early promo cards and demo decks, and that will probably have a bit of a price tag attached to them online. So I would really rather it not get so scalpy from day one,
Well, we might not have to worry about that.
Because
a breaking story that crossed my eyes only minutes before we started this podcast today.
Okay.
Still concerning Lorcana. Upper Deck sues Ravensburger over allegedly stolen game.
Are they talking about Lorcana or?
Mm-hmm. Upper Deck sent out a press release stating that they are suing Ravensburger over the publication of Disney's Lorcana, which they allege was stolen from an Upper Deck original game by a previous Upper Deck game designer.
Okay, keep reading. I want more.
This is a quote. We investigated significant time and resources to develop a new and novel trading card game. Our current leadership values the importance of protecting intellectual property of both Upper Deck and its licensors, said Upper Deck President Jason Mashera via a press release. We want gamers and fans to continue enjoying and having access to unique, innovative, and immersive trading card games. We encourage competition in the industry, but also strongly believe in playing by the rules to ensure the gaming community benefits from the different creative choices by each manufacturer.
Okay.
So this is a developing story. There is no more.
Not much else to say yet.
Yeah, there's not much to say yet.
Thoughts?
So, woo.
Yeah.
I didn't expect Upper Deck to become relevant
again in 2023.
Yeah, in the trading card game space, but this actually makes sense. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're lying about this. There's a real chance that Lorcana, or the game that inspired Lorcana, was being worked on at Upper Deck by an Upper Deck employee, and then they left or they were fired, and they went to some new company, Ravensburger, and they pitched a similar game idea.
Okay, so. What does Upper Deck do today? I don't even mean that in an offensive way.
I think they just do sports cards.
They just okay, it's like a sports cards thing.
I don't know what else they do.
Because I know that all I honestly know about Upper Deck was that they used to do Yu-Gi-Oh! And they had that big lawsuit with Konami where they were making fake cards or kind of or at least unlicensed, unapproved cards and putting them into products. And Konami was like, okay, you got to cut all that out. They had a big falling out, and now Konami handles all the printing and everything else. So I kind of had a bad taste in my mouth for Upper Deck after hearing about that story. But since then, I assume that they've been pretty much on the up and up. It's interesting. I wonder when this game that they're suing over was conceived. I wonder. I know it doesn't really have anything to do with the lawsuit itself.
Well, it might have something to do with it.
Okay.
Because they make no mention of when they allegedly. When this person was employed by them and they came up with the idea and worked on it with Upper Deck's team of designers.
Yeah.
Because there's a real chance, that if this was back in, let's say 2002, Do you think they own an idea from 2002 that they didn't produce?
I mean, I think legally they can. I'm not 100% sure. I have
I
a
think
lawyer friend I could
Yeah,
ask.
I think legally they can, but
I mean, I
maybe
guess if
not
they haven't-
necessarily.
Well, and I'm not a lawyer. You guys can please, someone more informed can let me know. But I feel like if they have like a lot of that in writing and like they have concept docs and stuff, they probably have a case.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, this is probably like pretty real. I mean, it sounds like something that could really be a slam dunk. Like this could be a very clear case of, yeah, this was an upper deck idea,
Plagiarized it.
and this is in a weird way plagiarism. But there is like a weird legal chance because this is a Disney thing where they're gonna have all the lawyers in the world.
Yeah.
Where maybe Upper Deck doesn't necessarily own Lorcana, or at least the idea
concept.
behind it.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on if it's Ravensburger or Disney that's being sued. Because I'm assuming it's Ravensburger. That's
Yeah,
probably,
they're suing Ravensburger, so Disney's not being sued,
but it still affects.
but they're
them.
they're tied to this now.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about the legal process there, but I don't think that Disney is gonna like let this happen without a fight. I mean, like they've got all the money in the world to throw at all the money, all the lawyers, and I'm not saying like I'm rooting for one party or another, but like I think Disney will probably just.
Like,
I think
yeah, I mean, come on, man.
like listen,
They're a titan in the
when
industry.
Disney wants like something to happen, like you know what I mean, like
right?
heads,
Like
heads will roll, people will disappear.
There are things I'd like to talk about, but I'm not going to talk about on the pod. But look, Disney gets things done, all right?
Yeah, like, they'll get things done if they need to. So, I mean, I hope for the best for Lorcana because I mean, while I'm not like really planning to play it or anything, it seems like it's the card game that's attracted the most like interest.
Yeah,
over the last.
Even someone who's I've really enjoyed playing like Digimon and other card games recently, I can't ignore that Lorcana has way more hype going into its release than Digimon did.
Yeah, so an interesting one. Okay,
We'll keep our eye on this story going forward.
Yeah, we'll keep our eye on it. I mean, I feel like it's kind of a developing thing, so there might be a lot more to talk about in the coming weeks.
I have to bring in these AI stories.
Oh, let's hear this one.
So this is a report about a leak. So it's unconfirmed. So everything I'm about to say could just be BS, but it's still fun to think about.
All right, let's hear it.
Horrific.
I'm ready to be
Instagram
scared.
is apparently testing an AI chatbot that lets you choose from 30 personalities.
I think I saw this headline briefly.
So
what do they say about it?
In a screenshot shared by a leaker, Alessandro Paluzzi, on Twitter shows that there seems to be an intro screen for a new Instagram feature. It says the chatbots will be able to answer questions, give advice, and help users write messages. It also says that users will be able to choose between 30 AI personalities and find which one you like best.
Oh boy.
So Meta hasn't announced any formal plans for this, but they have, like Mark Zuckerberg and Meta have shown interest in chatbots publicly before.
So what do you think about it before I give my take?
So I really think we have to be very careful with exploiting the conveniences that AI give us.
Yes.
Using AI's biggest use right now is making mundane tasks simple. Mm-hmm. And so we can take the thought out of a lot of the things that we do. Communication, I think, is one of those things we should not be using AI for.
Yeah.
I'm guilty. I've written a YouTube description with AI before. I guess that's a lie. I didn't write it. The AI did.
You prompted it.
But to be able to get a chatbot and reply to messages, these are supposed to be one-to-one communications. And then you can choose a personality for it.
Yeah.
That's dark.
It's terrifying.
Like the implications that people can just put these AI between each other to communicate for them.
So, sorry, do you have anything else? I had a bit.
I just don't want to see it normalized. All right, go.
Okay, well, so I have so many thoughts. I'll try to make them quick. So the first thing was, I remember when we were talking about this like last week or whatever about the AI thing. So my sister was telling me a story. She, was using, I think She used ChatGPT to write a thank you letter to somebody for like who had helped, just help them with something, gotten them a gift or whatever. And so, and she was telling me like the prompt that she wrote in there was like, write a heartfelt thank you like letter for this thing that you gave, this housewarming gift or something that you gave me. And so it wrote one, and like I guess she put it in a card or whatever and like sent it to them. And it made me think, what if in response they were like, okay, thank you for the letter. Here like they had AI write a heartfelt thank you for the thank you letter. And it just kind of went back. So it's like, I was saying like last week where, what if it's just AI talk, like AI representing Paul is speaking to AI representing Alec.
Yeah.
Who are like, so like we're not talking, but our AIs are.
It's like having digital lawyers.
Yeah. So the next thing though is that I'm not surprised to hear this. I don't think this is like, I think this leak is just, it's going to come true. Because here's the thing. Snapchat apparently already has an AI assistant thing. You can just talk to it. It can just answer stuff, help you out, I guess help you find content, help you
I'm curious. I was like,
write
what is
messages.
I'm saying, how does that help with Snapchat? It's gonna send me some
I don't know.
it's gonna send me some pictures.
I don't know. I don't know what it does. I don't even use Snapchat to be clear, but like it's apparently it exists and you can just talk to it, and you can even like send it pictures and it can like identify what's in the pictures, which is like a little creepy.
I mean,
say I took a picture of you watching TV, like you're in front of the screen, and I'd be like, "Oh, that's a nice TV back there." Or like, what show are you watching and enjoying right now?
The AI is gonna ask a question.
It'll ask things like
if
that.
I didn't tell it to ask me a question,
because what I'm guessing is like you just converse with it. Now, also Spotify's got an AI service where like it can kind of you can speak to it and they can eventually like recommend you songs and playlists as you like talk to it. How are you feeling right now, Alec?
no,
are you feeling
AI should not be able to ask me an unprompted question.
Yeah, but it can. And so here's the thing, right? Like, how are you feeling, Alec? You feel a little like lonely today? You just have a breakup? Tell me a little bit more about that. I'll recommend you some songs.
Guys, do not tell the AI how you're feeling. Do not let it get inside your head.
Yeah,
this is how it all ends.
That's like kind of so. I think that Instagram 100% would do something like this, where it just keeps you on the app. It keeps you kind of engaging, talking, and then last thought, Instagram has come under a lot of fire in recent years for like how it affects teens' mental health. They have been like asked to like finding ways to keep their algorithm safe, finding ways to keep those messages safe, finding ways to keep like screen time to like minimize. Same with TikTok, and there's just like creepy predators and stuff that are on that site. And it's just kind of like
they're on many sites, not just that one.
Yeah. So, but Instagram's always going to get the heat of it. And there's like the mental health component. You see all your friends, they're on vacation, they're always celebrating, they look so beautiful, they look better than you, they're happier than you. And so it's kind of like,
They do look happier than me.
Now like you've got this AI which I guess is going to like guide you through the app. Like, here's maybe what you can write as a caption for your photo, or like, here's how you could respond to this story or message. Like, it just feels
That's
like
too helpful.
It's helpful in like a kind of creepy way.
It reminds me of the Robots and I, Robot. Will Smith was uncomfortable with them, even though the entire beginning of the movie they're just trying to help, and they're genuinely helpful, but it's kind of creepy,
Yeah.
They're taking away some of that human factor of decision making and doing things yourself,
And communicating.
Like that's too much.
And
so,
here's something. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
This last thing I'll say on it is, I'm a big fan of like the cyberpunk genre, and I've always had this fantasy of a post like apocalyptic cyberpunk future for myself and all of us. Really, I want this for us, but that was through cybernetic implants, virtual reality, and like robots. AI, that actually is a little much. That's a little much for me.
In.
Yeah, that's a little much for me.
So with this Instagram one in particular, because my thoughts on AI are mixed. They're developing just as AI is still developing. Like, my thoughts on it kind of change every day, right? Like, I'm a fan of AI for work. I'm maybe not as much a fan of AI art. Like,
Just wait for someone to marry an AI.
Give it time. It might have already happened. I heard a story about a Hatsune Miku thing that somebody had like basically married, but that's a different. Anyway, okay. What I was gonna say was that like I like the idea of AI for work, right? Like if AI can make you like can help you with coding or help you make like a spreadsheet, I think that those sort of uses are really good. If it can help you even like I guess like condense data or expand data and like kind of talk about it, synthesize it for you.
But if it can also send an email to my mom apologizing for missing her birthday, then
Yeah, I'm getting to that. So I think like AI for work is good. And I think AI for play can be fun or something. But I already don't, and you know I don't. I do not like social media apps in general. I'm really not a big fan of Twitter. I think it's a cesspool. I'm really not a big fan of Instagram. I use them because I kind of have to for like, APS brand stuff, whatever. But like I don't like I think that they've kind of torn people apart. They've created a lot of division. They distract people. They eat up like time out of your day.
And the AI can repair it and bring us together.
That's what it'll
by
do.
Communicating for us.
Yeah. Because the thing is, it's like when I see people like, just like locked into their phones and like they're just swiping and scrolling and TikTok and Instagram and Twitter and like you're arguing with people. And it's just, I've found myself kind of wanting to cleanse from it as much as I can. The thing is, what I don't understand about this Instagram AI chat bot thing, what the hell is the actual point? Like, what is it really like? It's just, at least if it's for work, you can like make a spreadsheet and save some time and maybe be productive. With this, it's just kind of like guiding you around on a leash through the Instagram app where you just go from your messages to your posts to like what is it going to tell you that like,
I mean,
just spend what it really is. Here's the answer: spend more time just on this app on your screen. That's what it comes down to.
I think it's more of a data collection thing.
Oh yeah, and that too.
If if it can ask you questions and you start volunteering information about yourself,
that was a given.
Like
that's a given.
That is more information for the databases.
For the advertisers.
So the AI can more easily direct your attention.
How are you feeling? What are you wearing?
Yo, don't tell the AI what's going on in your head. That's the only place you're really safe.
Yeah, so I'm not a fan of this Instagram thing. I mean, I certainly don't think I'll be using it if I can help it. I don't really
use Instagram to begin with.
But, I worry more, I guess, about the teenagers.
The children.
Think of the children. No, but really, like, they're going to be the ones who are kind of getting into this, like, Snapchat and Instagram and all that stuff where, like, the AI is, like, their friend. And
yeah, maybe it'll be different for them. Maybe they'll be like, what was it, Yu-Gi-Oh! Brains, where they have, like, their AI partner friend things? Like.
So what personality would you pick for your Instagram AI, Alec?
Get out.
What?
That's the end of the podcast,
What personality would you want?
I don't want to.
Do you want it to like talk down to you? Do you want it to be like a?
I don't want.
He always agrees.
I don't want to talk.
Do you like it when I wear this? I'll wear it again.
I don't want to talk.
Do you like it when I say this? I'll say it more.
No, I don't want to talk to it.
Yeah. Okay. So, just a little bit of existential horror.
I don't like it.
An AI story every week.
Yeah, I find something AI related. I talk about it. It scares me.
Well, that's cool. I've got another little bit of horror Black Mirror for you.
Was not prepared for this.
So Apple Vision Pro. The new Apple AR headset that they announced.
Okay, it's not AI, thank God.
Yeah, still a little dystopian in feel. So you guys have probably seen this.
I actually like this one.
Apple sort of, they call it spatial reality, but it's basically kind of a hybrid AR VR headset.
Yeah, like mixed reality.
Yeah, mixed reality. Got a lot of tech in it. It's $3,499.
That's actually a steal for a first generation product like this.
He's being facetious.
No, I'm not.
No way you're paying that much.
Like I told you before, Paul, being a first mover in this type of technology means that there's a real chance something like catastrophic can happen. And like,
sure. Well, at any rate, it comes out next year, and I want your thoughts on it because you are.
I'm gonna own one. You'll see my thoughts in real time.
You're the local AR VR guy.
Like I'm gonna take out a loan. I'm gonna go get one.
So from what you've seen, though, what are your like just thoughts on kind of the feature set and how it seems like it integrates? And the look.
It's very close to what I've envisioned for our future. I say like I'm the only person that thinks about these things. It's of what many people have envisioned. It's the overlaying reality with a virtual interface, being able to analyze and interact with reality through a virtual lens to get like more information, to do other things. But at the same time, you have the full access of a computer on your face, its own processing power. You have the internet.
You have like windows open and stuff.
Yeah, this is as far as we could tell from the videos, this is a fully functional mixed reality helmet. Now there might be some ergonomic issues. I mean, it might still look weird to see like your friend walking around the house with one of these on. They have the whole like the feature where there's a screen on the front where they can kind of see like your eyes moving around and stuff. That might be good, but it also might be weird. I don't know.
Well, so I think my understanding of that is that the eye thing is so that like if I'm wearing this and like I'm walking around and you see me in like Starbucks or something, you might be a little like put off by that. So it's a little creepy.
For effect.
So this lets you know whether I'm like looking at you or looking at something, or when I'm whenever the camera part is not enabled, then it just kind of turns into like a glowing thing. So that way you know that I can't see you. I can only see what's in the screen. So it's supposed to be like a way to.
So you know if someone's like checked into reality versus not.
Something about that sounded chilling. The way that you said that,
That's
but
how it works. I mean,
but no, yeah, like I think that's kind of at least they.
It's all fun and games. So someone makes a nude mod for it. Now everyone you see is naked.
Oh God, I mean, like I think that was cool that they kind of considered that. I thought so. The things that I liked about it. It having like an entire operating system and computing power within the headset, I think is really awesome. So you could probably get some real work or productivity done on this thing, or really consume a lot of entertainment.
So the question I have is, what work requires such a thing?
TBD.
All right, we'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just like if you want to kind of do your work with like a headset on, you can like pinch and poke and like stuff. By looking around, you can select menu things. They say that the looking is very, very low latency, like, and also that it's extremely accurate. So like when you just look at a button on a menu or whatever, like it's already there. You can speak through Siri, so like you can type your messages like that. It's like it's almost kind of a solution looking for a problem, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you need this? I don't really know that anyone.
I'm not 100% sure. If its benefits so far outweigh a strictly virtual reality headset with like what Meta's been making.
Yeah.
Because there is a problem that they are trying to fix.
What is that problem?
Workspace collaboration that can be done across the world, but it feels
like you're there.
Like, yeah, you're all in the same place. Right, so you can collaborate in real time in a 3-dimensional space with people from all over the world. That's like the bare minimum problem that these are working on. Mm-hmm. But when we add in like the augmented reality part of it and then like the extra eye thing, now I'm wondering, like, so what else are we solving? What does this part is? So we don't want to just be able to work in our office with people from all over the world. We want to be able to work in our office with the people in our office and people from around the world, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
it's also an entertainment device.
Yeah, the entertainment part's cool. I know they said like each lens is like a 4K resolution lens, and they don't want you to ever be able to like spot a pixel. It looks like that. It's like their high refresh rate displays. So I think optically there's a lot really going for this thing. They say the latency is extremely low. So that all seems cool. Some downsides I've heard, though, is that the battery life is 2 hours on their little battery pack.
I mean, it's a first-gen product. It's so basically a prototype that looks nice.
Yes, that's not too surprising. Obviously, the price is quite high. I think that I'm reminded of when like the Samsung Galaxy Fold first came out. It was like $2,000. They're still like that much, basically. Like you don't buy this unless you're like, you got to be on the bleeding edge, right? This guy.
Well, actually, I can't do it because my downside to it is that it's Apple.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I don't want to pay $3,500 to be trapped in the Apple ecosystem. I don't.
That is fair.
I like Windows.
And then also there's I mean, like there are just some elements of it that I think are a little bit creepy / worrying. Like I still think that like the see the eyes thing is more off-putting to me than anything. I feel like it reminds me that this person is, like you said, kind of tapped out of reality.
Well, if you can see their eyes, they're in reality right now. If you can't, then they are checked.
But the look isn't. It just, I don't know. It's a little uncomfortable. Also, they were talking about how like this can take 3D photos, like kind of these like augmented reality like kind of photos where like it's like a photo of your child's first birthday or whatever, but like it kind of scans the 3D data of the area so like you can kind of relive it and like re-explore it.
It's better than a picture. Which
is cool, but then it's like, okay, so daddy's wearing the AR VR headset at, little Jimmy's like second birthday party. That means though that mom and dad who are wearing these aren't like they're not in the scene now. Like they're not in the moment because
They are. They have
creepy.
their eyes are there.
yeah, I guess
For little Jimmy, that'll be that's gonna be how they see their parents with weird helmets on their faces.
Yeah, like,
It'll be normal for him.
Yeah, is that like how kids are
Or
just gonna
them.
kind of grow up like what it's their parents are always wearing this and just like would it not be a little bit weird if it's like everyone's walking around the house with these headsets on?
No, for us it will be. For us, we're old now.
Okay.
But for the next generation coming up, I mean, they'll expect weird things like that. That'll be normal for them.
So,
But once again, I just think the only issue I have with this product is that it's Apple, and they just want to get you roped into the Apple ecosystem any way that they can. And $3,500 is a lot of money to get into Apple when you're not an Apple user.
yeah, so I'm interested in seeing where it goes. I mean, I think it seems cool. I won't own one, but like maybe whenever they make like the kind of less expensive version that's more, consumer focused and like cost.
I'll buy
like
a
tenth of the
MetaQuest
price.
3. I might not even use it really because I barely use my MetaQuest 2. I'll get a MetaQuest 3.
Yeah, it's only 500.
Only 500.
Only 500.
It's a console.
So, yeah, that's all the stories I've got.
That's all I've got too.
All right, I think it's time then to
Time to
draw
put
a couple
our hands
cards.
in the pot.
Okay, so
All right, guys. So we looked at some comments on our community tab posts, and we wrote down some prompts that you guys gave us on Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And like any good pot of greed, we get to draw 2 cards.
Yeah, so we're each gonna get to draw 2.
I thought I was gonna draw one. You're gonna draw one. We'll
Yeah.
each draw 2.
Yeah, well, each. So I mean, like, I'll draw one, you draw one, then I draw one.
Okay.
So we each get to draw 2.
All right.
You want to go first?
Sure. Why not?
Draw a card from the pot of greed.
All right. Is this the card? Yeah. Oh, didn't work. I was trying to draw
Trying to do
like,
the epic anime draw.
Yeah.
Didn't work.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we have the prompts written on the.
All right. Let's see. Okay. So, and these are all summaries of those questions. I couldn't write the whole things.
Right. Okay.
But can the Yu-Gi-Oh anime or manga reach its peak again?
oh.
So I guess the understanding is that its peak was during the 4Kids era of cartoons, during the DM era where everyone knew about it.
Do you think that it could? I mean, I know like Yu-Gi-Oh anime today is certainly by no means as popular as it was.
What
kinda
Yu-Gi-Oh
during the-
anime?
Yeah. Well, Yu-Gi-Oh Sevens it's on
Oh yeah,
TV,
I
so,
forgot
like,
Yu-Gi-Oh
it's, like,
7 is on
happening.
TV.
But yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Reigns definitely dropped the ball, I think, with being
It's
kind of an accessible one. What do you think it would take? We've had this conversation amongst ourselves before, so
I think it would take another magical moment within like the marketing space and like game. Maybe it's impossible because the reason Yu-Gi-Oh was so popular back in our day was because these corporations weren't so mature in how they handled their IPs.
Mm-hmm.
When they launched the Yu-Gi-Oh anime, they were like, oh well, we want to launch like merch to go along with it. We want to launch the cards like only months after the anime starts. We're gonna send these things out we're gonna contract Toys R Us to send out videos to people. We're gonna
yeah, it was playing on TV.
they spread their IPs wide across as many networks as they could and did a full court press that was Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon, Pokemon. Everybody was just hitting these kids with all the marketing they possibly could.
Yeah, so I find myself thinking that there are actually elements of that present today. Yu-Gi-Oh merch has been like on the rise in the last couple of years. I remember when Konami started like licensing out Yu-Gi-Oh to more things. There's been more like shirts and figures and toys. They're kind of disparate though. I don't think though that we can ever really reach the same heights unless, like you said, there's got to be kind of a shift in what it is that kids are into. Like the unfortunate thing is what kids like are these things. Mom hands like, little Jimmy a tablet,
Master Duel's on here.
right? And like they tell him, I know,
You
but
can stream Vrains on. Seven's on here.
yeah, but I guess, but when it's on that tablet, it's competing with everything else. You
That's
know what I
fine.
mean?
Yu-Gi-Oh strong enough to like hold its own. But I just don't think they're covering all the channels they have to cover.
Okay.
I
Like
think you
so-
have to have your video game, your card game, you have to have your merch, you have to have your
Your
anime,
TV show.
and it all has to be happening at the same.
It's got to be a
time.
concerted push. I know it's an obvious example, but Pokemon does it like really seamlessly. it's why sometimes these new Pokemon video games come out like barely finished. But they do make sure that like when the game launches, the anime is also launching, and when the anime is launching, the toys are launching. When the toys are launching, the cards are launching. Like everything is very in sync, and like you as a parent, your kid will be begging you to buy like a new plush of a new thing, and like they get the new game, and then you have to get like just all of it.
In the new Pokemon anime, they are going or have just gone to Paldea, right?
Yeah.
And the Paldean set in the Pokemon TCG is either releasing or it just came out.
Yeah, I think.
And then we're gonna get our Pokemon not Sword and Shield. What's the latest game's called?
It's Scarlet Violet.
Scarlet Violet DLC comes out in the fall.
Yeah, they keep it pretty. Okay, here's a quick, just divergent question. Do you think that a Yu-Gi-Oh reboot of like the DM era thing would be a good call, or do you think it's got to be a new Yu-Gi-Oh anime that would do the thing? Like honestly, because I hear this a lot.
Have we really seen a reboot from the 90s or 2000s era capture the younger audience? We've seen them work well with like millennials. Like millennials love reliving their past.
So do you think that if they rebooted like Duelist Kingdom Battle City, that would be the right choice, or does it need to be something new, like the Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens approach or something?
So depending on what the goal is here, I think if they rebooted DM, it could do well.
Maybe with our age group, but perhaps not with kids.
With millennials, it could do well. It recaptures that interest and all that, and you don't have to actually worry about playing the cards. That could be fine with a new coat of paint and some, that could be fine. But I don't think that would bring Yu-Gi-Oh back to its peak. If Yu-Gi-Oh wants to reach its peak and surpass it, it has to reach the new generation of kids just as well as it reached us.
So you think it might need to be like
something
new show?
New.
Okay, well, I will now draw my card.
Don't look in there.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to see what it looked like. Okay, this is very similar to this last question. I'm going to redraw.
Oh, some of them might have been from last week where they're a little bit similar.
Okay. Oh, okay, now here's an interesting one. Somebody asks, could Commander exist for Yu-Gi-Oh? Like a Commander format in Magic the Gathering where it's like 100 card decks. It can be played by as many people as you want, like 4 people or however much. Could it?
I'll say it could.
Okay.
Commander was a player-made format in Magic the Gathering. Wizards didn't come up with the idea for it. And Yu-Gi-Oh already has an established format that no one plays that's similar-ish.
Yeah, they have a Deckmaster format. Little known thing. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh does have a Deckmaster format. There are full rules and stuff on Konami's website, although they're very tucked away.
They're kind of...
They're not super fleshed out.
Yeah.
They seem a little exploitable. Like, you basically pick a Deckmaster, and if it... you can summon it at any time in the duel, but if it leaves the field for any reason, you lose.
Yeah, you lose. In the anime.
Unless you use it to make like a tribute summon or like an extra deck summon or whatever, then the thing that you summon becomes your new deck master.
Your deck master can be upgraded, but once again, if it leaves the field, you lose.
Yeah, so they haven't really fleshed those rules out. I would actually suggest you guys like maybe take a look at those. You might want to try it with friends. We've considered trying to do it for a video. It's just a little difficult to we have to kind of play test it a bit first before we show it in a video.
Just because there's no shortage of ways to get a monster off the board in this game.
And it's tricky because like you'll just make your deck master like a really powerful extra deck thing like Avramax maybe, or like just something that can't be So but back to the Commander thing. Do you think Yu-Gi-Oh could handle like 4-player? I feel like turns in Yu-Gi-Oh can get so long at times. Maybe they would need to shift a little bit of that, limit maybe what you can do in a turn.
I think maybe there would have to be some type of a forbidden and limited list,
right? Something
to just cut through a lot of the interaction that we have, so people can get through a turn.
Yeah, because I just think of like if I'm playing with 4 people and like how long Yu-Gi-Oh turns can go, and I'm not trying to be like hyperbolic here. Like I'm a fan of modern Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff, but I mean just waiting for 3 other people's turns just seems...
That game will take forever.
But I think it could happen. I think it'd be fun. I think it's gonna have to be like a player-led initiative. Konami seems like they've got their hands full just trying to keep this TCG ship afloat sometimes.
Like it might be a commander format in Yu-Gi-Oh might be better off as like a sealed deck master type experience where it's intensely limited, but it's hyper curated for that format.
I think it could be fun. I would certainly give it a shot. I mean, I've always liked the like we said earlier, the battle pack things and stuff like draft can be a super fun time. I think modern Yu-Gi-Oh would probably be it's a bit too much to try to just make a 1-to-1 battle royale commander style.
I think about it, and that's also a mix of like Highlander too. Yeah, Highlander's the format where you can only play like one copy of any card in your deck.
That might be fun, yeah. Although maybe with you, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah,
that's kind of a separate thing.
It's hard to say for sure.
Because Yu-Gi-Oh's tried Highlander, and I remember they even did an event for that in Master Duel, and it actually was not super well received.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh's moved really far past that type of gameplay.
I think you just realize like you kind of want consistency in Yu-Gi-Oh to some degree. So, but I would be interested in a commander thing. I don't think Konami would try it. I think players would have to do it.
Some enterprising person.
All right.
So it's
your
my
turn
turn
to
to draw
your second card.
Second card from the pot of greed.
The pot of greed. It's a lure. It draws you in.
All right, got one.
Don't reach too far though. You might never pull your hand out.
Yeah. Well, that's too similar to what we just talked about.
No, take that one out then,
Okay.
so we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
This
And you probably got the one I got. It was very similar, like the first question.
No, this is too similar to that
Oh,
question.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
We have a lot of cards.
Okay. This is more of like a silly softball question.
Okay. What do we got?
What archetype would you be in if you were a monster?
Oh, easily. I know which one. What's yours? Actually, no.
I
We gotta
haven't
guess
thought of
each
it yet.
other's. We gotta guess each other's. Okay. What do you think? What archetype do you think I would be in?
Spell books.
Yes. I'm not even gonna pretend that wasn't my answer. Yeah, I'd 100% be a spellbook monster. I would just. I don't know how much of this you guys know. I love like my mage archetypes. In every game I play, I always play like AoE, mage, caster kind of characters. I play them in Final Fantasy. I play them in, obviously, I like Hogwarts Legacy. That's kind of the, but like I like the mage thing. I think it's a really cool concept in anime and video games.
Right.
Casting, lightning, ice, fire, very fun. In Pokemon, I play like a lot of special attackers. I would love to be just in the spellbook mythos, hanging out in the spellbook library. He's
really thought a lot about this. Like you would swear he came up with this question.
I mean, I would kind of just exist in that like spellcaster, like with Endymion and like the Witchcrafters and all of them, like they're kind of interconnected. I think you would be.
Tell me, because I haven't come up with an answer yet.
Maybe you'd like. I mean,
can't think I have an answer. I think I know.
Maybe like Battling Boxer, Dino Wrestler, something kind of like that.
God, no.
No? Oh, wait, never mind. I know where you would be. You'd want to be in the Cosmos, the Cosmo archetype.
That would be cool, except.
Okay.
See, I personally would not want to be in something quite so dangerous.
Yeah,
there's a whole intergalactic battle.
Okay, so where are you going?
But I think if I could be a monster and be in any archetype I wanted, it would be Plunder Patrol.
Oh, that'd be really fun.
I'd like to be one of those green guys. I want to be a captain or a navigator or something.
I have to say, I really do love Plunder Patrol. Just the concept's cute.
I love those guys.
Yeah, what's your favorite Plunder Patrol?
My favorite Plunder?
I know what mine is.
I want to see. It's hard to like separate them from their effects. Because like I immediately want to say the good ones.
It could be either both. Maybe it's like, what's your favorite troll? Because I mean, the ships are ships, so I don't. It's hard. I like. It's weird. I know this is corny. I like them all equally. I really do. I think they're cute. I think they're fun. I think their play style is interesting. As far as my favorite one to play, it's Whitebeard. Okay.
Because he's really good.
Oh, you remind me more of like a Blackbeard.
Blackbeard's the captain. That didn't feel right to say.
My favorite one's Golden Hair. I just think she's adorable. Like she's the newest Plunder Patrol. She's kind of new to the crew, and she's like young and spry and kind of like just she's getting used to everything.
You can see her receive her spyglass, which is the sign of joining the crew.
Yeah, so I don't know. I liked that. So, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be in a spellbook world,
and I'd be a Plunder Patrol.
All right, I'm gonna draw my second card. This is one I needed to take out.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank God we wrote enough of these.
Okay. Here's this is a fun one. Another kind of just fun question. What's your new Yu-Gi-Oh anime pitch?
Oh, okay. So if I had to pitch an anime. All right.
Sort of similar to the other question of like what would maybe be like a new thing that would draw kids in, but I'm gonna approach it more from what I want and not just what I think kids would like.
So my Yu-Gi-Oh anime pitch. Let's picture this, right?
Okay, I'm listening.
You're in a stadium. Roaring fans just screaming their heads off.
Yeah.
And the sun blazes through the sky because it's an outdoor stadium. It's not an indoor stadium like you'd expect from a card game.
Right.
And the wind blows through the grass, the green grass.
Okay.
And then our something protagonist runs down the field as a ball flies up in the air. He catches it.
Oh, so it's like
it's not a ball. It's a card. This Yu-Gi-Oh that I'm proposing is Yu-Gi-Oh, I guess X insert sport,
like
essentially.
Extreme sports.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh as a sport. So what if we took kind of like the action duel thing they had going on in Arc 5 and we made it a sports anime?
Ah, that'd be cool.
So now there's teams.
Yeah.
And you can pick your favorite team or whatever. And we have our protagonist. He's a plucky, young, talented upstart. And he's formed his own like dueling team, and they're going to win the dueling cup. I don't know.
No, I get you.
Like,
yeah.
And like it could be normal Yu-Gi-Oh, but with action elements taken from either like soccer or football or something.
Yeah.
I don't have it all fleshed out, but I don't know. I like the idea of it being outdoors and actiony.
I actually, when you were first describing it, it kind of reminded me of like Pokemon Sword and Shield's gym battles, where like the gyms are more spectacle and kind of they like take place in a stadium. There's a roaring crowd. I mean, because Yu-Gi-Oh's like kind of had elements of that. There were like parts in like ZEXAL and even like Arc 5 and 5Ds and stuff where they would kind of play in a stadium setting.
Right.
And like I guess Dark Side Dimensions kind of sort of had that too. But yeah, I think like making it more of like a sport, kind of with a team, that sounds fun. For me, I think. And I feel like maybe Go Rush is doing this. I have not watched Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush, though, so sorry if I'm just like...
I have no clue.
I think something kind of intergalactic seems really fun. Because Yu-Gi-Oh!
Space Odyssey.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh's done a lot with like the VR, AR stuff, and that feels like that's kind of been the direction ever since, we'll say, ZEXAL. I think it'd be cool to have them like visit different planets and just sort of like battles that kind of take place in space. I don't know if
Jaden's cards came from space.
That's true. What is that line that Kaiba said? Because I figure if there is intelligent life out there, then let's teach them how to duel.
Iconic.
Kaiba's crazy. No, but I think that could be kind of neat because there is a hint that exists, right? Like if the Neospacian cards came back from space, then there's intelligent life out there that I guess has designed cards or monsters or something.
I thought Jaden, I forget.
Or did he like design them?
I thought he came up with those cards and sent them to space. I think.
Well, something came back. The point is, I think it would be really cool if like there was kind of just some intergalactic element. Like I said, I have not fleshed it out. I think that maybe our main character, is just from like one planet and he visits other planets and like different planets kind of have...
Meet Yu Skywalker. Yuke Sky. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, that might be kind of fun. I don't know what the archetypes and stuff might look like or maybe how the rules would necessarily work. But I just think that as a setting, it is something that Yu-Gi-Oh! Has not explored. Unless Go Rush. I watched like the first episode of Go Rush and I think they met an alien from space. So I might be completely just stepping all over that. But that's all I've seen of Go Rush. So I don't know. But wow.
Yeah.
Those were interesting prompts. So
Yeah,
a
interesting
little
prompts.
repetitive, but those were interesting.
So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. We're gonna try to do that basically every week, where I will sort of field questions for you on the YouTube community tab. That's where you can submit them,
That's
or in the
the
comments
APS
of this
amplifier
video.
one, not the Team APS.
Yeah, APS Amplifier. Be sure you're subscribed here, and we'll both draw 2 cards every week. So get to cover 4 viewer topics.
But guys, that's all we have for this week's episode of
The Pot of Greed. Hope you all enjoyed. Drop a like to everything else, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one.
Pass
Pass
turn.
turn.